Hi, friends. This is your pal Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Dungeons and Dragons in direct context to American politics. I don't do this often. I know people like to keep the streams. Don't cross the streams, like a straight up Ghostbusters line. I get it. But this one is just too on the nose with truth, in my humble opinion, to ignore. So let's get there. All right, okay. So I think I am. You know me, man. I will not shut up about Dungeons and Dragons. I just talk about it nonstop. And the reason why is I believe that Dungeons and Dragons is this incredible tool to understand the IRL. I believe that's why it was built. So, so I think right now, what's happening with Donald Trump is so shocking that so I have a degree in political science. I have a bachelor's degree in political science, and I also have a master's degree, and that's in technology. And it's really fascinating because so I know what I'm talking about when it comes to politics. I know the trends. I'm literally studied on it, right? And what's happening right now? I do D&D. I do American political commentary. And before Trump came along, I was like, I can tell you exactly what's going to happen. Here's where we're going. And everybody was saying this stuff, right? And now everybody's like, I have no idea what's happening, and I have no idea where we're going. And we are just in a different world. And I want to explain where we were, where everybody thought we were going, and where we actually are through roller coasters. And this will touch on Dungeons and Dragons. So let's get there. Okay, so roller coasters. All right. So first of all, just so you're aware, I actually used to be a lot bigger than I am now. I'm not svelte now, but I'm not, super big. And but I was super big at one point. And because of that, there's about 20 years of my life where I could not ride roller coasters. I actually can't ride roller coasters still. I'm still about 22 pounds, about 20 pounds too big to ride a roller coaster, and I miss them. But there was, I think, about 25 years of my life where I rode roller coasters a lot, and I loved roller coasters. Right, I really missed them. But understanding American politics today is really perfectly explained through a roller coaster. And let's talk about this. Okay, so let's talk about roller coasters and how they're experienced. Okay, so right now, right, I actually do get to go on a roller coaster, air quote, about every 2 months. I'll go up to King of Prussia, and they have a unbelievably excellent. It's a Regal movie theater, and I go up there. It's so good, and they have this 40X movie theater. And when you go in, the seats are built in a pod of 4 seats, and it shakes you around and shoots water at you, and there's lightning that goes off, and it shoots air, up, in your nether regions and near your head. It's incredible. It's a really wild experience. It's a 3-dimensional, like literally not just 3D for your eyes, 3D for everything. It's really incredible. And so, but these seats to see this movie are built in a pod, and they move, like they jerk forward and they jerk back and they jerk sideways, and they literally just jerk you around, right? Like it's just like throwing you all over, like you're in a car that's tumbling down a hill, all right? But the seats don't go anywhere. They don't physically move. They don't roll forward. They don't roll back. They just kind of teeter and tip, right? And it's an emulation of motion, right? That's where we were with Biden, right? Every now and then the seat would jerk back, and you're like, oh, the world's moving, things are happening. But nothing was happening. It was an emulation. The seats weren't actually moving. It was just tipping back momentarily, tipping forward, rocking to the side. It didn't literally move. It didn't go anywhere, right? It never moved from its stationary position. But there was this sense of motion. That's very much what was happening with President Joseph Biden. Nothing was happening. Nothing was happening. They were like, Vladimir Putin was like, hey, we'll attack Russia and murder just hundreds of thousands of Ukrainians every single day. And President Biden was like, oh, frowny face. not going to put any boots on the ground, not going to murder Vladimir Putin with a tank, right? Like, like it was nothing was happening, right? And this wasn't the case with with Barack Obama. Oh, is that world leader causing some problems? Execute him. We can take care of that. I'd like him gone. I'd like him dead. But under Biden, nothing happened. There was no motion ever. Like, it was just, hey, what's going on, everybody? We wish we could do something, but we can't. Your seat's jerking back and forth, right? There was no motion, right? All right. So the whole world, all of America was like, forget this noise. We want the seats to move, right? And so we elected President Donald Trump to get a real roller coaster. We're like, we're going to sit in a real roller coaster, right? And just to be clear, those seats in the 40X pods, those 4 pods that kind of just jerk, those 4 seats in one pod that just kind of jerk around, right? That was interesting in that here's what happened, right? Is they would, those seats would move, kind of jerk around, but they were designed to look and feel exactly like roller coaster seats, right? It's pretty wild, right? So when we got President Trump, everybody was like, oh, I know what's going to happen, right? Our seat, we're going to get in a real roller coaster, and it's going to go up to the top of the roller coaster, and it's going to go down. It's going to go up to the top of the peak of the rails, and it's going to go down. It's going to swerve to the right. It's going to swerve to the left. Maybe it's made of wood and it feels rickety and a little scary. Maybe it's made of, branding steel and it feels really smooth and it's fast. But our roller coaster is going to be real and it's going to move, right? And that's what everybody thought. We're going to get a real president who can actually read documents and sign them for himself, rather than having stuff, put in front of him, and then the auto signer signs it, and he never read anything or made any decisions. He was just like a puppet, right? Like, and people are like, it's incredible. It is absolutely incredible what's happening. And so people are like, we're going to get a real roller coaster, right? Well, what did we get? Oh my gosh, this is the part. And see, you and me on the Dungeons and Dragons side, we know what we got, right? We got a real roller coaster, right, with Donald Trump. And it started in the theme park, and it rolled out for about 100 feet, and then Flood the Zone happened because of Steve Bannon, and everybody's like, wait, what's happening? What is going on right now? And what was happening is that the roller coaster was real, the roller coaster was moving, but it went into the realms of Dungeons and Dragons, pulled there by Dungeon Master. And everybody on the ride is like, oh, wait, we were Dungeons & Dragons players in 1983, but now we're in the world of Dungeons & Dragons, and we all are fighting Tiamat on day 1? And this is where we're at. Everybody's like, we want a real roller coaster. And he's like, you got a real roller coaster, but it's not going anywhere on the real world. You're on a terror ride, but you're going to be given power, right? You're going to have an energy bow, and you're going to have a magical staff that you can do acrobats off of, and you're going to have a hat that, oh my gosh, this is so spot on. And you can pull spells out, but they're random. The spells are random. You're like, what is happening? And so right now, the Donald Trump ride is a real roller coaster that is moving forward, but we're in a different world. And every American political commentator is like me, trying to explain what's going on, and we're like, oh, well, we're no longer in the real world. We're in a magical world, and we're fighting Tiamat. Nobody has seen anything like this. This is just outrageously unprecedented, right? And it can only be explained. Even American politics can only be explained through Dungeons and Dragons now. It's shockingly incredible, right? And everybody's like, what's happening? And nobody really knows, including Trump. This is it. And why are we here? Because Trump's like, I'm going to break every single tradition and rule. I'm going to do whatever I want, and I'm going to flip the table, and other people can pick up the parts. It is shocking. Every single word you just heard in this video is my humble opinion. Nothing more, nothing less. The important part is when I get to hear your humble opinion. When you get in the comments and send your traffic, please consider liking, subscribing, and have a fetch millennium.